Hey guys, and welcome to a new age, the Jurassic Age to be precise. I'm a Rubber Duck of War, and today we are witnessing a Lizardman Royal Rumble. Dinos versus dinos, and this may look like Total War Warhammer 2, and my opponent certainly is playing Total War Warhammer 2, but I'm playing Total War Warhammer 40k, because I have brought the elite of the elite Space Marines to the battlefield, equipped with double power fists. I'm coming in with the KROXIGOR, I guess a sub-chapter that you may not have heard of. They're very closely linked to the Salamanders in 40k lore, and here they are. We've brought them back in time to help fight us in this prehistoric showdown. So we do have the Sacred KROXIGOR, and they are the centerpiece of our build. We have Central KROXIGOR on the right, in the center, and on the left-hand side we have their cohort of Huato. These are the elite of veterans, the Primaris Marines of the Lizardman faction, looking pretty damn awesome, and their power fists are so freaking cool. They're going to be pummeling the enemy into the dirt, and of course, it isn't truly a KROXIGOR build if they're not being led by Nakai the Wanderer himself, coming with all his buffs and goodies. We have Cohort of Sotek just in the back there, a Skink Priest, a Beast, coming in with Pan's Impenetrable Pelt, a very underrated spell, and of course the Manticore Summon. It is after all known as the Manticore Law of Magic. A bucket ton of Skink cohorts with Javelins are going to be making up our main battle line, and 4 units of Chameleon Skinks in a vanguarded position to harass and whittle down the enemy from afar. Now, someone who's still living in the dark days is Gorok. He's a rather slow foot character, hasn't really got with the times, hasn't got a mount or anything like that, and he's going to be leading the mighty Itza tribe against the glorious Nakai. We again have a load of Skink cohorts with Javelins, but only 4 compared to my mighty 5. We do, however, have the range superiority coming from my opponents, a double Bastildon with Solar Engine, and a basic Feral Gary down on the low ground. Double Temper Guard guard the flanks of the main battle force, as well as 2 Saurus Spears in the center. We do have a KROXIGOR unit in the center as well, and these guys, they look pretty badass, right? But when you compare them to the Sacred KROXIGOR, they simply have nothing going for them. We have Gorok the Mighty coming in with all his goodie buffs. His shield looks particularly ferocious and awesome. I love the little it's a kind of like face tribe on the shield. Looks very cool. Reminds me of Lord Croak. And there is a spellcaster somewhere. Here we go. We have a Skink Priest of Heavens coming in with all of the goodies today, bringing all the spells. He wants all the smoke. No caster is going to outdo him today. He's trying to prove that he should be elevated to a mighty Slam. So the Chameleons are going to be poking down the Skink cohorts with Javelins for now. I'm also trying to kite back and avoid as many Javelins as possible, and just get them to waste the ammunition as we move our own Skink cohorts up to fight, and we then launch a load of Javelins downhill into the enemy, pitter-pattering down with little blood splats as Skinkies die all around us. Chameleons focusing them down from the flanks, whilst Javelins come through the front. A lovely little death pocket we have our opponent in at the moment. But as Bastillons are starting to move up, they can certainly lance some shots down the line of the Javelins, which could be rather problematic. And if I'm using my Javelins up on enemy Skink cohorts, I'm not using them on Temple Guard, as well as Saurus Spears. That's going to be a far bigger problem the longer the game goes on. Chameleon Skinks continue to rain in shots. We do have the cohort of Huatl moving forward, looking to drive back the Skinks. A little bit scared, though. There's a lot of Temple Guard here and Saurus Spears, so I'm going to be moving away and rotating around to the middle of the battlefield. Continue to pour shots on here in the front. My opponent's trying to be a little bit cheeky, coming in as well. Looks like with a Chain Lightning, nonetheless. Chameleon Skinks are able to dodge, though, for the most part, though. It is following my precious little Skink cohorts. I'm trying to retreat away as quickly as possible. The cohort of Sotek have moved into the main fight, looking to pin the enemy in place and hold them down for as long as possible. We have dispatched some Sacred KROXIGORs to move up and around this left-hand flank to get into the enemy back line. We do have a rather lovely comet come down, just eviscerating some Skinks. Temper Guard have been pinned in place, however, and we're shooting them in the rear with our Chameleon Skinks, poisoning them and slowing them down. But here's the big fight, the new versus the old, fantasy versus sci-fi. Who's going to win? There's some big swings coming in here, and it is a rather brutal fight. We even have a couple more cohort of Huatl yet to join the party, and it looks like a relatively even trade at the moment. We do have more Sacred KROXIGOR pouring into that back line. Primal Roar goes down by Nakai, buffing up the cohort of Sotek and himself, dishing out mighty damage onto the Saurus Spears here, though there's a lot of Temper Guard nearby. Nakai is going to have to disengage from that fight and quite happily bomb rush this little Skink Priest and just run him over, face down into the dirt, getting stomped upon. Saurus Spears do break and run despite Stand Your Ground going down. We do have a nice isolation of one of the Solar Engines down here with our Feral Manticore Summon and a unit of Sacred KROXIGOR surrounding them. Even Chameleon Skinks getting getting down and dirty. We're peppering Saurus where we can. We're peppering the Temple Guard as well. My opponent's done a fantastic job down here on the flanks, though, using the skink cohorts to push away my chameleon skinks. We will win that engagement, but it's wasting a lot of ammunition. And it looks like Sci-Fi simply has the tools to deal with the KROXIGOR. I love that punch the ground animation. So the rocks come up and then they fling them towards the enemy with a mighty swing of the wrists. And the KROXIGOR are defeated. In the back, we have another unit of said KROXIGOR just running down skinks, forcing them away. Nakai is going to finish off that skink priest and escort them off the battlefield. However, these Temple Guard and Saurus Spears looking a little bit spooky here. As we move into the later stages of the battle, Cone of Huatal going to go for a big fat rear attack into the Temple Guard here. Let's see how much damage it does. And boom! They do indeed connect a massive rear attack. Blood and guts going everywhere. Temple Guard, though, are a rather stalwart unit. Should be able to turn and engage and continue to hold back the cohort as long as possible. Saurus Spears can be fighting up against skinks. Good fight there for my opponent. But the Soul Engine's really getting dragged down now. One has indeed been shattered. And with the Ferromanticore summoned, birthed into the world, looking to slaughter this next one, who's under a lot of pressure. We have double chameleon skinks who are currently a little bit obstructed trying to shoot in. And Sacred KROXIGOR beating its ass. Cohort of Sotek are desperately pinning in the mighty Gorok where possible. That's going to allow the Ferromanticore to help dish out the pain to him. And now that the Basildon has emerged from the shadow of the Sacred KROXIGOR, he gets welcomed by a load of javelin shots. In the main fight, despite the Temple Guard getting rear attacked by chameleon skinks for an absolute age here, they are grinding through the skinks regardless. 113 kills already, and my main army battle line has been completely deleted and pushed through, but we've won a lot of key engagements. We still have the Code of Huatal bouncing around and the Sacred KROXIGOR hunting down the Feral Gary right now, trying to beat it up as much as possible. It's got quite a thick armored skin here, but the Sacred KROXIGOR will jump in with joyful glee, and they're well and truly up for the challenge. Phobosodon isn't going anywhere anymore. It does rampage, which is really unfortunate for my opponent because it was just about to jump in on top of those chameleon skinks. So currently finishing off the Saurus, and we have decent ammunition, at least for the latter stages of a battle left, to help drag them down. At this moment, I've realized that I need to kill Gorok. This is a really scary little central force with the Temple Guard, and I'm starting to run out of ammunition. So I want to get Gorok off the battlefield so I can tear her out and just break the enemy as quickly as possible. And I wanted to support the Ferromanticore as well. He's done a fantastic job in his short life. He was born into a world of destruction, and he shall leave destroying as much as he can. Gorok is about to go toe-to-toe with the cohort. The mighty Space Marines come in with their power fist, looking to grip his skull and just pop it in a mountain versus... actually, probably shouldn't do Game of Thrones spoilers, it's been out for years, but in a certain cinematic style that I'm sure most of you are aware of. Panzer Imperial Pelt going to go down on the cohort here to give them a little bit added protection, physical resistance, and melee defense. And even the Kai's come in to have a bit of a piece of the Gorok, who is, in fairness to him, trying to fight back. He's standing up to the mighty ancient KROXIGOR, but at the end of the day, what can a man do against the dominant force in the universe? It must bow. No one beats the test of time and the power of technology here. Well played to Mr. Invisible, my arch rival, my nemesis. Mr. Invisible and me have played many games before, and I still don't know his name. I'm assuming it's a very embarrassing name, and that's when I will find out what it is. But well played. It was a sad day for lizard folk all across the realms, of course, having to watch Lizardmen fight Lizardmen, but it was a really good fun game to play. I don't often cast mirror matches, but this one was pretty easy to follow due to the fact they're both sub-factions, and I thought it was a pretty good fun one, showcasing the mighty Cohort of Huatal and their sacred KROXIGOR brethren. They performed really well. 26, and 139 kills, just shy of 1,500 damage, 1,300 damage, and 610 on that last unit. But they were basically full health, and their main job was clearing out those pesky skinks in the back line. I'll delve into kills, damage dealt, damage value, and all that juicy stuff in just a second. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content into the future, and comment down below what you thought of the battle. All those things massively help the channel out in our growth, and just seeing other people get, dragged in to the total Warhammer multiplayer scene, which is what we really want to do. I'm so excited for Warhammer 3 and pushing on to that. Load of links down below in the description, standard stuff, Discord, Patreon, Twitch, all the juiciness. But back to the battle. So not only did the Sacred KROXIGOR perform really well, likewise did Nakai the Wanderer. Barely a scratch on him. Not quite full health, but certainly, more than 3/4 of his HP left at the end game, and got just shy of 2,000 damage value as well, with a whopping 1.9k and 11 kills on him, really hunting down some of those bigger, larger targets. The little Skink Priest, his value's not really going to be there, but hey, he summoned Manticores, that's what he was there for. Code of Sotek, 41 kills, 1,167 damage value. Such a solid unit, particularly when buffed up by Nakai, giving them that extra melee attack. They went on a rampage in the center, breaking through Saurus and dragging down, or at least hampering Gorok wherever possible. King Javelin's got 39, 20, 18, 13, and 40 kills with 330, 171, 275, 199, and 474 damage values. Only one unit really paying for itself. The Chameleons also did far worse than I thought they would do. They're shooting into the row of Temple Guard for a long time, but I guess that thick, scaly skin is quite hard to pierce with the little blowpipes. And Temple Guard, they're the Master Guardians. They're not going to get caught out by any tricks or anything. 31, 27, 36, and 28 kills, but only 420, 597, 383, and 372 damage value. It was a real standout day for the Sacred KROXIGOR. As for my opponent, it's always good to see Gorok in action. 413 damage value on him and 47 kills, been overshadowed by the much larger, more ferocious and mighty Nakai. The Skink Priest of Heavens, 261 value on him. He tried his best, but alas, Nakai hunted him down. The Saurus couldn't really get in good engagements. I mean, you got 42 and 21 kills on them, but most of them were against Skinkies. 253 and 575 damage, 714 and 590 from the Temple Guard, who also struggled, although this unit was basically full health at the end of the game with 88 kills, the other in 119. Little Skink Javelins, once again, only one unit paid for itself. Nothing too crazy from them. Febrosildon got 171 value. KROXIGOR 557, being taken over by technology and time. 192 and 455 damage value on the solar engines. Getting wrapped up in melee way earlier than they would have liked. But unfortunately for them, I'd say KROXIGOR moving around the flank, so they didn't really have anywhere to run and no one to protect them. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.